What's up, guys? I'm walking up the approach to the Timberline Trail here in Oregon. I look crazy because the wind and dust is in a 30-mile-an-hour gust range and there's dust everywhere. But I'm excited to do this 40-ish mile loop around Mt.hood. Never been to Oregon. This is my first time. So going clockwise, getting started about 4 p.m. I didn't really do any planning, so fingers crossed it all works out well. Here we go. Getting a late start. Timberline Trail shared with the Pacific Crest Trail. We're going that way. Something really cool about this loop going all the way around Mt.hood is right off the bat, you get some super cool views. There she is. And behind me, there is the Timberline Lodge. This is really pretty. It's all very wooded, and I know that it won't be that way for the whole trail. Half the reason I decided to go clockwise in the end after initially planning on going counterclockwise was because that wind is so bad and the dust is so bad that I'm hoping being in the trees for these first, handful of hours at least will be worth it. So to hike this trail, you have to have a permit, which you just get free here at the little kiosk on the trail. So we're gonna go ahead and stick that in there. Here's my copy. A couple of things. Avoid hiking alone. Well, here we are. And then river crossings. I know they've talked a lot about that on the comments on some of the maps. So I think we'll be okay. Such a cool view. Loose dirt. It's windy and I'm not excited to be blasted with dust, but it's just too hot for this. And being from the Midwest and hiking only on the East Coast, really, other than Whitney, I guess, I have not familiarized myself with sun shirts, which I need to do. So glad I chose to go clockwise because this part of the mountain is blocking all of that wind and dust, and there's blue skies and pretty views and wildflowers and me in the mountain, and I could cry. I took bets on how many times I would cry with some people back home when I got out here. So far the number is 0, but I feel it, right in here, because through hiking ruined my life in a way. I just came from right there, but wow, look at her. Oh, she's pretty. Just me and my girl Hood. I'm in this really pretty wooded area going downhill. So if you go clockwise on this trail, the first, 3 to 5-ish miles are downhill and wooded, and it's incredibly nice. One of the river crossings. That one's moving pretty good, but it's pretty narrow. I don't have a ton of concerns, at least about that one. So here's the deal. I would love to tell you I did not get wet crossing that first river, but I did. It was not deep, it was not hard to cross, but I was screwing with my trekking poles and I didn't have one of them twisted tight enough, and so it collapsed, which, no big deal for the river crossing. However, I do need it to pitch my tent, so I'm going to keep screwing with it while I climb the first real hill. Okay, so I'm at a trail split. We have the true trail, and over here we've got a Paradise Loop alternate. I'm actually going to take the alternate. I've gotten a lot of recommendations to do so. So up the alternate of Paradise Loop we go. This alternate's super pretty. I think that hood is on the other side of that somewhere, but this loose sand definitely makes things a little bit slower moving. Think about walking on a beach or running on a beach, but uphill. It's pretty much just that. But golly, the views do not disappoint. I'm going that way, and I got my trekking poles figured out. But to stop and look behind me after this climb, I have to stop saying golly, but I really am just in awe. It hurts my heart to see all the smoke, and I wonder what mountain that is. She's big though, whatever she is. Wow, this alternate is so worth it. I've got about 2 hours of daylight left, but between the fields of flowers and that view alone of Hood, temps are starting to drop. Such a pretty evening on this side. If you're thinking about doing this, take Paradise Loop. This loop offers the most amazing camping because you have Mt.hood to your right, and then what would be or is going to be a beautiful sunset on your left. But it's only 6 o'clock and I have an hour and a half left of daylight, and I got a late start, so I really feel torn between camping with these views or continuing to walk. The thing is I'm not in a hurry. However, I like to be moving. I decided to pass up camping at those amazing campsites, mostly just because I have too much daylight left, too many miles to put in. So I'm not in a hurry or anything, but I'm going to enjoy the rest of my evening walking because that's what I came out here to do. And that's the end of the loop. Now we are on the Pacific Crest Trail, which we'll meet back up with the Timberline Trail later. More super loose sand coming from this way, but not mad because there's a stunning waterfall and Hood to follow. Got a little over-under action. I'm gonna go over. Oh. Okay. Water. Water crossing. Sun setting. I'm gonna put this away. I crossed. I got water. It's browner than I would have liked. And now I'm heading to camp. I'm definitely gonna need to back flush this filter. But it filtered out pretty clear. On tonight's menu, Thai curry. Pretty excited. Today was absolutely beautiful. I did 10.1 miles. Started at just before 4 p.m. and I ended just about 7:20, which means I have like 30-ish miles left. I'm excited to get some rest, wake up, and keep walking. Good night.
Good morning. Man, the trail really ages you. It's 7 a.m. so I slept for like 11 hours, which I don't think I've ever done before. So I need to pack up and hit the road. A super underrated part of backpacking is when you roll your tent up and it fits in the bag. It's the way it is supposed to. The sky is over there. My coffee is right here. Packing up camp. And gonna hit the road by 8. Okay, so here's the junction. So Timberline Trail in Ramona Falls goes that way. I just came from that way. And the Pacific Crest Trail goes that way. So because of that is all closed from blowdowns, we will be taking the Pacific Crest Trail around Ramona Falls, past the blowdown area, to meet back up with Timberline later this morning or afternoon. I mean, this is beautiful. Especially just the stillness of the morning. People always ask, like, aren't you scared? And why? And I don't have the words for it, but if walking this path in a still, beautiful, mild morning doesn't get you on fire in here, well, then it's not something I can really explain to you. Little crossing. The climb out of Ramona Falls area is pretty good. Don't let the first 11 miles of clockwise jade your perspective of how much elevation is to come very, very soon on day number 2. And just like that, we're back on the Timberline loop. Making pretty good time this morning. I've been walking for just shy of 2 hours. I passed a bunch of people on the uphill, which means my little legs, they still got it. What a viewpoint. Also scary because look at all that smoke from the fires. It's nuts. Climb, climb, climb. Trail goes that way. There's a junction sign up there. Timberline. We go straight, not that way. So straight we go, up. You can't even see Hood. You would think that that first little peak you see is Hood until you pay closer attention past all that smoke and you see her silhouette pointing way up in there. I think that's my best course. I've done it. I've made it across dry. That never happens. There's a little shelter. Okay, I've made it to a crossing. I don't think it's gonna be too bad. I just need to find a place to rock hop. And we're across. Are these blueberries? I do not know. They sure look like them. Water is cold. There's Mt.hood, but she's covered in smoke. And then my view that way is pretty nice. I'm eating a fruit stick. It is 11:50, so almost noon. I'm at mile 20. I'll definitely walk for the next 6 hours. There's some good elevation in there, but I have a feeling I'll make it quite a bit further today. Just passed a trail runner, and these are in fact blueberries, so. Oh wow, that's great. So good. Okay, so I know that you guys know that I have bad ankles. I rolled it, maybe the worst I've ever rolled it. It definitely made a noise. It's definitely gonna slow my pace. I'm hoping I can walk it out. Oh. Oh my God. We just came across that. I found a couple of places I could rock hop, so my feet are dry, but I'm in quite a bit of pain. But I know my body, and I know that I can walk it out. She's gonna swell, she's probably gonna bruise, but it's not a big deal. My foot is underwater. I made it all the way across a big river crossing with no problem. Get to a puddle, jumps in. So I just came right there. If you look closely, down there, I came from down over there. And now, I'm just walking along slowly, trying to work through some of the stiffness in this left ankle. I'm okay, but there was a lot of immediate pain. It's kind of subsided. Okay. So that crossing is definitely a lot bigger, the hardest one so far. But these nice ladies right here helped me rock hop from that rock to that rock. So we're good to go, and I'm dry. However, my ankle is really, really, really getting tight. So I'm on the super exposed part now. I think the next like 8 miles are without trees. I'm warm from climbing, panting a lot, but only a couple miles from my, well, where I planned to camp. Snow, a lot of wind and snow.
last 0.6 of this climb, and then I need to filter some water. I made it to the top, broke out my nut sack, and I hear water right there. So I'm gonna filter water, but I'm gonna keep going. It's too exposed up here. It's only 4 p.m. I have no reason to not continue. Another reason that I feel incentivized to keep moving, other than the fact that it's only 4 p.m. and it's way too exposed up here, is that I feel like moving feels better on my ankle than sitting still. Definitely feels better when I walk. If you can see anything, this would be a wild view. Here's the top waterfall where I came from, where I'm going. I am back below tree line and just about 2 miles from where I'm planning on actually camping now. It is 5 o'clock, almost to the dot, so I should make it there just before or at 6, which is still earlier than I would normally stop, but I'm in quite a bit of pain and I don't have very many miles left tomorrow anyway. Okay, so the campsite was full, but we found a couple spots down by the river. By we, I mean me and myself and I. So I just went down to the river to get water. While I was down there, I rinsed my feet off, and when I took my shoe off, it hurt really bad, which, like I said, I knew my ankle hurt. Let me just show you. Okay, here's my ankle normally, right? Just maybe a little inflamed from walking. And then there's this one, which is not happy. Oh, yeah, she hurts really bad. Cute. On tonight's menu, me and the bees, because they're everywhere, are having chicken with broccoli. I've never really liked the noons, but I put 2 of them in here and made it extra concentrated. This is the blueberry tangerine. It's not terrible. Although I'm not sure anything this color can be good for you. The nutrition facts on this are pretty good. It's not the best thing I've ever eaten. I'm gonna cook dinner, read my book, and elevate my ankle. Okay, I'm laying down. I read my book. It's only 7 something, which is so early. I wasn't even done walking yesterday. My ankle's so bad, and I think I'm gonna be slow moving. I only have 7.5 miles left. Good night for me. Good morning. It's 6:27. I woke up like every hour and a half last night because of my ankle. But I heard sprinkles on my tent, and so I'm gonna pack up and try to get going before, or even if it rains. There wasn't rain in the forecast, but it's currently sprinkling, so, you know, we'll see. So this is my regular ankle, and this is my hurt ankle. I couldn't sleep just because any way that it like laid, it hurt. I have a feeling it's going to be a very long 7.5 miles at the pace that I'm capable of moving right now. But I think that's the little bit of rain I felt this morning. Out across.
I made it across that damn drive. Me, Gimpy, I did it. Y'all, I'm hurting pretty dang bad. I gotta find trail. I found the trail and I'm back off. I'm climbing, which as it turns out, feels way better on my ankle than downhill, so I'll take it. Injury on the trail is such an interesting thing because if I was running or working out or playing a game and you hurt yourself, normally you stop. The thing is when you're at mile 20 on a 40-mile loop, you can't stop. You have to get back to where the cars and people are. So I walked, I want to say like 11 extra miles on my injury yesterday, which may have been a dumb idea, but sitting still hurts. So I figured might as well keep moving and minimize what I have today. I think I'm gonna pass a waterfall. Waterfall. And more water. So I was doing the math, and yesterday I ended up doing 24 trail miles. I don't know about detours, that was just actual like map miles. So leaves me with 7.5 this morning. I was booking it yesterday before the injury. This little leg still got it. You can see where we came from, down there, and then up and through here. It's 8:01, so I've been walking for just about an hour. 2 miles in, as I expected. My pace has slowed, but I'll take 2 miles an hour. That's a really good view of her. I think those little guys are called bear grass. Don't quote me on that, but I had a friend tell me that, and they're everywhere. They look pretty cool. Video will never do views justice. There's a ton of bumblebees out here. Like, I had like 12 or 13 that camped with me all night, but they like don't sting. They are just interested in, I don't know if they're looking for sugar or something, but they're everywhere, but they're harmless. Final 2-mile push starts right now. Last 2 water crossings done. Timberline Lodge back on the PCT. Walking right at
Miss Mount Hood in very loose sand. To think that I have almost circumnavigated around that entire mountain. It's quite wild. Well, y'all, you know what time it is. One more mile. The fact that I literally just came from down there and up over that hill and down from over there, mind-boggling. As I'm wrapping this up, I'm just thinking, this pastor guy, he said, "You make it look so easy." He has no idea that I'm hurt, how long it's taken me or not taken me. It just is a reminder that a body in motion stays in motion. I always tell myself, you can go as slow as you want, just don't stop. And just like that, I have done it. I am done with the 41 point something mile Timberline Trail around Mt.hood. I was moving for about 17 and a half hours. I started Friday night at 4 p.m. and finished at 10:15 a.m. So feeling pretty good. Goodbye, Mt.hood.